Hello and welcome to Good Morning Sibos. I am Nadine Dereza.
And I'm Chia. It's great to be back hosting Sibos TV once more, 1 year on.
Yep.
Well, we'll be here bringing you the key issues, the big names and the hot topics from the conference.
Broadcasting live throughout every day from our studio here at PAL Expo. Our job is to bring you the very best of Sibos 2016 Geneva.
Our morning show, Good Morning Sibos, previews the busy day ahead every morning live at 8:30 in the company of Chris Hall, editor of Sibos Issues, plus a special guest each day. And we'll also bring you reports from right across the city of Geneva, hopefully providing a bit of inspiration as you decide what to explore, where to see, just outside of the conference.
Talking Sibos starts at 10 o'clock, and I'm actually going to be down on the exhibition floor talking to delegates and exhibitors to find out what you're expecting from Sibos 2016. And this morning, I'm going to be in the registration area, so don't be shy. If you see me, come and have a chat. I don't bite, do I?
No, you don't. And we will be roaming around. There is so much to see and so much to look forward to. So yes, do find Nadine. And each day also at 11:30, we'll bring you the big issue debate, the essential conference session, which explores the day's hot topic with experts from the world of finance and beyond.
And at 1 p.m, we have lunch with Sibos, bringing you panel discussions, session previews. And the one I'm really looking forward to, Stephen, is the Sibos Game Changers. And what we're doing there, we've got in-depth interviews with key thought leaders and influencers. So I think that's going to be really, really popular again.
Indeed. At 3 p.m, join us for Sibos Today, featuring the big interview with industry leaders, panel discussions, plus some insider tips on how to get the most out of your visit to Geneva. And in fact, you've had a bit of a sneak peek around the city. Any tips to share with folks out there?
I tell you what, I wish I was born in Geneva. It's a beautiful city. It's got something for everybody.
Right.
Fresh air, mountains. Wait for the videos on them. They are lovely. But I know you went out.
I did, just for a night, and it's so picturesque. I saw a few castles and things like that. Beautiful. So have a chance to go around. So there's lots and lots to look forward to. We're joined now by the head of Sibos, Sven Bosu, and Sibos Conference Manager Alan Rowan. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Alan, lovely to have you back here again.
Thank you.
How excited are you to be here in Geneva?
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful to be here in Geneva, and it's great to see the exhibition floor already getting packed up.
It is indeed, isn't it? And great that you're both here. The double act is back. By popular demand, the two of you. We couldn't keep you away from Sibos TV. So why was Geneva chosen as a location?
There's actually three reasons for that. First of all, it is a financial hub within Switzerland. Secondly, they have PAL Expo. As an infrastructure is great, we can do whatever we want. And then third, as you already said, it's a charming town to stroll around it.
Yeah, that's true indeed. So, Alan, you've been working on this conference for, I'm sure, a long time now, and this is where it all begins.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that people should be looking out for?
I think, this year we're going with the theme of transforming the landscape to do with Geneva, but also to do with the transformation in the financial industry. And this year we've changed the approach to the conference because last year we got feedback from delegates that there were too many forums and it was very difficult to navigate throughout the conference program. So we've simplified it this year and we've gone with 4 streams, and these streams are banking, securities, compliance and culture.
You got them all 4, tick. And I can see the visible relief.
Better than trying to remember 12 anyway.
Indeed. But obviously security is going to be a major theme throughout all those 4 key streams as well. And I love the idea about that transformation of the landscape. I hope you've noticed in the studio, we've got transformation landscape to time with the theme. And Sven, in terms of your point of view, in addition to the conference sessions, I know there's a huge amount going on the exhibition floor. Any key highlights that you want to pick on?
Well, there's a number actually. We have the 2 open theaters in which we're going to have 80 sessions throughout the week, so that's pretty massive. We have the Stands Forum, of course, which will run through 4 days. We have InnoTribe, which is the magical space we have this year. It's double the size of last year. It's magnificent. You really need to go and have a look there. So those are the key things you need to look. And one thing more, the Swiss Lounge. It's the first. So for the first time, we're going to have a country lounge, which is a mix of a networking area, but also where you can find all the Swiss fintechs presenting themselves to the world.
And it's a flavour of the country as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's
and
celebrating.
they brought chocolates.
Where was that again? But I did take a look at InnoTribe. It looks spectacular. I mean, it's one of these really funky, edgy kind of. It's got that vibe to it, I'm sure there'll be a bit of music we can hear coming from there as well. So make a visit. Alan, blockchain was one of the topics that was top of the agenda last year, and this year is back in a big way as well.
Absolutely. So blockchain definitely came out as the highlights of the conference last year, and it's definitely included in this year's conference. But I have to say, with all the incidents that have happened this year, cybersecurity is also top of the agenda this year, really taking a forefront throughout the week.
Including in the opening plenary as well, though, big focus on that, I would imagine.
The chairman, Yara Shah, and Gottfried Liebrandt, our CEO, will definitely be covering security in their address.
So there's so many sessions, the programme is action-packed again. How are we going to make sure we don't get lost around the conference floor?
Well, we have this little piece of magic. So we have a Sibos app, which we completely revamped this year. So it has the entire conference program. You can pick the sessions you want to look at and load them in your Outlook calendar. And if you don't find your way around, we have actually an interactive map. So let me show you how it works. So this is the interactive map. You see yourself, and then you try to find your way. There we go. You try to find your way on the floor. It's so simple to use.
So it's a really useful guide, isn't it?
Very
I
useful.
can see
there
that.
we go.
I mean, with so many exhibitions out there, I tried it once. You just type in the name of the company that you're looking for, and you just tap a little, the map comes out, shows you the way. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
And also you can network with people, can't you?
Absolutely. You can send a message to other people. You can share visit cards. That works, everything with the app. So download the app, use it. It's the way to get around in Sibos.
We have. We've downloaded it.
We have. Of course. I've got it on my phone. But I couldn't find Sibos TV on it. It's okay. You can watch us live all around the venue on the screens. Okay, it's going to be hard to pick sessions that you like, but I'm going to ask you guys to pick a few. I mean, if you had to recommend a few, Alan, you go first.
If I have to pick a few, I would definitely pick the plenary sessions. So this morning, our opening with the Thomas Jordan, the chairman of the Swiss National Bank. Then tomorrow morning, we have a financial stability session, kind of covering the challenges in the future of global finance. In the afternoon, we have a big issue debate on cybersecurity and catching the bad guys. So that should be very, very interesting. On Wednesday morning, we have a session on cognitive business, and we have the CEO of IBM, Ginny Rometty, and the CEO of UBS,
I'm loving your memory to this. How about Thursday? Let's test you on Thursday. What are you looking forward to on that day?
On Thursday, we have disruptive innovation. We have a presidential-style candidate debate session in the plenary room. It should be really great. It's in reflection of the US elections. We've decided to have our own candidate debate. And then finally, we have Bertrand Piccard, who will close and inspire us about his travels around the world.
Right. So we have someone playing Donald Trump?
Yes.
That's a different.
No one would dare do that, would they? And Sven, what charity are you supporting this year? Because I know last year in Singapore, this was a passion of yours.
Absolutely. And this year again, we support the Anouk Foundation. So the Anouk Foundation, they take care of sick children who are in hospitals. And instead of staying in a very white clinic room, they come in and they paint the room in vibrant colors, and that actually helps the healing process of the children. So we're going to support them, but they're strict to it. Actually, we only support them if you come to the Swiss stand, you play a game, and each time you play the game, we give money to the charity. And because you do that effort, we give you a little gift.
And also it's very visual, isn't it? So you're seeing the mural being, the fresco being absolutely put together beautifully throughout.
Right next to the plenary, so do have a look. You can actually give some input to the artist. And they'll work around that.
But before we let you go, we have to ask you one question, the most important question, the closing party.
Are we invited?
One, you are invited, but you're right, it's a revolution this year. We're going to start right after the closing plenary. We're going to take our ties off, we're going to walk to Hall 7 and have a grand party, promised. It's around a cuckoo clock.
Say it again?
A cuckoo clock.
In Switzerland, why not?
Yeah, time is of the essence, I guess.
Well, we've got a lot to get through before then, but I imagine you're going to be incredibly busy over the next few days. So thank you guys for coming along and chatting to us. Good luck with Sibos this year, and look forward to seeing you around the conference and the exhibition floor. Thank you, both to Sven and Alan.
Thank you.
So if you want to make the most of your Sibos experience, you certainly want to download that Sibos app that
it's really
Sven
simple.
showed us.
Just get online, just type in Sibos, and it'll come up, and you have that app, and it'll help you throughout your stay here in Geneva at the conference. But of course, it's not all business as well. A bit of fun to be had too. You'll be hearing a lot more about the Swift game over this week. The big question is, how do you actually play it?
We've created a game on the Swiss stand here at Sibos. It's based on a traditional Swiss game of stacking red and white wooden cows. It's really easy to play, and we're asking lots of delegates to come down because every time someone plays, we donate money to the Anouk Foundation, which Swift is supporting this year. When somebody finishes playing, we'll have a totalizer at the end, so you can see how much you've contributed to the overall fund. And at the end of the game, we'll show a slide, so you can see how much money has been donated to the Anouk Foundation so far.
Yay!
Welcome back. Now, the Swift game really is a fun way you can help raise money for a great cause, as we've seen it down on the floor at the Swift stand. And we'll also keep an eye on the leaderboard through the week, let you know who's in the lead. But with us in studio now are Magdalena Jasinska and Juliet Cannell, who are both working in the market infrastructures team at Swift. Morning, ladies. Welcome.
Good morning. Magda, if I can start with you to begin with. What's new for market infrastructures this year at Sibos?
So what has changed compared to last year is the fact that we will not have a two-day MI forum. So the sessions are not going to be squeezed in 2 days. They are going to be spread over the week. So that will make the planning and attending the sessions much easier. You can still find them very easily. You can just use your Sibos app, choose Market Infrastructure tag, and then you will see an overview of the program.
So does that sound like a lot more work for you then, spread over 4 days? And why are you doing this?
But we are very happy. We are listening to our customers, actually. That was a main request we got, actually, just to spread it equally over the week. It's much easier.
I think people want a bit of time to have a chat after the conference, go have a coffee, before the next
some
session.
Networking, indeed.
Yeah. Well, Juliet, I mean, there's so many to choose from again. We're going to ask you for your pick of a top session from market infrastructures.
It's really difficult to choose the best session, but I would definitely go and listen to Richard Zena from the Federal Reserve. Actually, he's about to moderate a session in Conference Room 2 on cyber and the changing world. Cyber is high up on the agenda of everybody right now, and it's a hot topic. It's particularly high up on the agenda of market infrastructures because, as you know, they need to be up and running all of the time. So yeah, definitely go and listen to him. He's talking to Hasta Tang from HKMA and Adrian Niche from BAE Systems. So yeah, definitely a good session to go to.
And I think cyber resilience is going to be featured very heavily throughout the week. And Magda, how about for you? What is your top pick?
So my top pick is definitely a Single Market and Capital Markets Union session moderated by David Wright, taking place today at 3:30 in Conference Room 2. We're testing a new format this year, actually. We're going to bring politicians and practitioners together. We want to listen to different views. We're going to discuss the current state of the Capital Markets Union in the future, taking into consideration new technologies and also recent political events like Brexit, for instance. So that will be a very lively debate. You shouldn't miss it.
Yeah, I'm sure people are looking forward to lots of issues there. Juliet, what else can we expect, and especially from Capital Markets Union, that session?
I think the discussion on Brexit will be interesting. I was at a conference just last week, actually organised by Euroclear, to celebrate Crest's 20 years. Brexit came up as a hot topic. I'm sure it's going to come throughout all the sessions this week, and in particular the CMU session. So go along and hear the latest on that.
And talking about Brexit, it's not going to be a Brexit-free zone throughout. We were hoping it would be, but it's incredibly important to the financial industry.
I do think it's far too early to draw any conclusions of what's going to happen there, but I'm sure the debate this week is going to be around Brexit, and we'll learn a lot.
So in terms of any delay on Capital Markets Union, what's your thoughts there?
Go along to the session. I don't want to steal David Wright's thunder.
Tease.
Well, Magda, tell us, what else can people look forward to? What else would you like delegates to take note of?
So definitely you shouldn't miss our MI Forum magazine, which we publish every year for Sibos. You can find the magazine at newsstands all over the place here at Exhibition Hall. What we are changing this year is actually we are taking MI Forum online. We are not going to wait with sharing the news with MI community until Sibos Toronto. We would like to do it much earlier in advance. We are going to publish MI Forum on a monthly basis, and we are very happy to actually invite you to share your contributions with us. Just let us know if you're interested.
Let's make sure we can see that so people can see. And where can you pick up copies of this?
At newsstands at Exhibition Hall.
Okay,
I think it should
brilliant.
be
How many
Right.
copies have you
Who's-
printed? Thousands.
How many do you want, Nadine? I think one's enough, you know.
And how about you? Anything else that we should
Yeah,
really
I
be
think
focusing on?
I would definitely go to the Standards Forum stand, especially if you're interested in ISO 20022 and the take-up that's happening right now. And I actually was there this morning and found out that tomorrow at 4 o'clock there's going to be a party on the stand, and there's going to be an opportunity to try out all these new Swiss instruments. So I would definitely go along there and have a bit of fun.
That's what we love
Good.
about
That's-
Sibos.
that's,
Parties, networking,
I know.
and also collaboration and sharing of thoughts. So fantastic. Thank you, ladies, very
Thank
much
you.
for coming along.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Thank you.
Sibos.
Thank you.
Now, throughout this week, we'll be giving you an introduction to this beautiful city. We have plenty of films coming up over the next few days to give you some ideas of what to do when you're away from conference business. So here's Sibos TV's introduction to Geneva. We're looking for the best of Geneva. Whether you're a first-time tourist or a regular visitor to this amazing city. Say Switzerland to most people and they think about chocolate, clocks and mountains. But this is just part of the story. You can of course indulge in the finest chocolate in the world. Or you can discover what else Swiss food has to offer. So whether you're catching up over cocktails in a trendy bar, meeting colleagues for aperitif, or going for home comforts, Geneva has dining options to suit every occasion. The Swiss passion for accuracy is never far away. This is the home of watchmaking, so it's no wonder transport here always runs on time, to the second. Whether your idea of activity involves water sports on the lake, browsing the shops or strolling around the old town, there's plenty to see and do. So hopefully that's given you a glimpse there. So what would you like to see, Stephen?
You know, there is so much to choose from, and as you mentioned, it all looks so picturesque. I don't know where to go, but of course, food is always a draw for me. So I'd like to check out a few of the cafes and maybe Old Town as well.
Away to the man's heart.
Ah,
Food.
there you go.
it's
We're
spoiled for
simple,
choice.
simple that way. We're joined now by Chris Hall, who edits Sibos issues with a daily edition throughout the conference.
Also here is the editor of Banking Technology, Tanya Andreasen. Welcome to you both.
Hi guys.
Thank you.
Good to
So-
have you here.
Yeah, welcome to the show. So, what are you both looking forward to right here on this first day of Sibos 2016?
Well, I think there's a big program. It's very packed. There's a lot of themes that I think we've seen at Sibos before. Particularly last year was in some ways dominated by people kind of discussing the potential of blockchain. There was, and that's obviously moved on. It'd be interesting to see the extent to which discussions around blockchain have moved from the kind of theoretical to the practical. That's going to be interesting. And I think that there's technology in general is such a kind of strong theme in terms of the kind of relationship between fintechs and banks. How that's how is that adding value to clients, and which kind of clients? Because it's been quite a kind of consumer orientated kind of development. A lot of the apps are very kind of responsive to the needs of consumers, but obviously this is kind of a wholesale event in a lot of respects. It's banks talking to banks, and corporate and institutional. So to what extent is that kind of fintech revolution actually having an impact on this market.
And Tanya, from banking technology's point of view, just picking up on Chris' point, there does seem to be that fusion now of let's get the old established players talking to the fintech. Both need each other. You've got the experience of banks on the one hand, over 500 years of experience, fintechs in the last 10 years. They both need each other. They're not mutually exclusive, are they?
Indeed. Well, the technology has come to the fore so much that banks that traditionally been behind or perhaps using the legacy technology and perhaps are very slow to change realize that they do need to change fast. But how do you do that? It's very difficult to do unless you partner with somebody new, somebody agile, somebody modern that can bring the solutions to your problems quickly. So on the other hand, you have fintechs who are new, who are small, perhaps lack the scale, lack the knowledge, lack the expertise. They need the backing of big banks to help them to promote their products and bring to market what it is that they want to bring. So there is a lot of talk about that. In the past, probably banks shunned fintechs and ignored them. Now, suddenly, they all want to be friends. There is so much editorial and talk out there about how the two parties can work together. So, yeah, hug a fintech today.
But the big question is, how can they work together? I think that's the real challenge, right?
Well,
because we were just talking about this last year as well. I mean, so what's your take on that?
Well, I'm sure there is a lot of talk going on, and it would be interesting to see the actual walking the walk. So there are examples, very good examples in the consumer space, as Chris was saying, because perhaps the consumer banking space is a little bit more advanced. But there should be quite a lot of sessions this week at Sibos about how fintechs on the corporate side and the wholesale side, payment side, can work with the big banks. And there is, I think, a lot of development going on in this space. Take, for example, Ripple. That's a startup. Well, you could argue it is. That's a fintech. And look how popular and how progressive it is in terms of working with big banks.
Now, Chris, just picking up on that, what do you see is the key things affecting the market this year, aside from what we've just discussed?
Well, I mean, I think the overall reason why banks are looking to collaborate with fintechs is simply that the environment is not conducive to big bank profits. Regulation over the last decade or so has cut off a lot of revenue streams. The low interest rate environment has cut off a whole lot of other revenue opportunities for banks. So I think that is the kind of key driver, the fact that there aren't big profits to be made in a lot of areas that banks have kind of historically kind of relied upon. So they need to cut costs in lots of different ways. Some ways are obviously collaborating with fintechs on development, but others are kind of in the kind of utility space, more collaboration with each other. So they're all kind of using the SWIFT registry for their KYC kind of compliance. And but again, it's the same thing. It's kind of finding ways to do what they do more efficiently and cost effectively.
And Chris, just your thoughts on technology, in particular artificial intelligence. I mean, does that have a place within financial institutions, and where do you see that trend going?
I think I think there's got quite a lot of potential. Obviously, we're going to hear from CEO of IBM on Wednesday morning, talking about the cognitive bank and the idea of what cognitive systems can do to help banks become more efficient in lots of different ways. But I think that there is the most likely developments could well be the ones where we can most easily leverage what's happened in the consumer space already. So I think wealth management might be an area to look at, and that's obviously interesting and relevant to Geneva, which is a huge wealth management centre. But and there is actually, I know there's a Swiss lounge somewhere down in the exhibition centre where they've got quite a few fintech firms, and some of those are in the Welsh management space.
If only they had a bartender that was a robot, because I actually have met a receptionist who is a robot, and she can recognize you when you make a visit again, because of cognitive thinking. And pretty much, but one day our jobs could change.
The thing about artificial intelligence is that it should enhance the human experience. It shouldn't replace it. And also, it should be there when you need it. But you also should be able to switch it off when you don't, and that's very important.
But technology is going so fast these days, isn't it? So how can banks keep up with that, but also, like you said, keep that customer service experience? Because that's what will differentiate the best, won't it, if you can get it right. You know, we were talking, or we've got someone coming up on the programme later on, looking at how financial institutions need to be much closer to the customer.
I think that collaboration is key here, and we're talking about collaboration with banks and fintechs, as we mentioned earlier. We're also talking collaboration between banks and collaboration perhaps on a wider scale between governments or the financial organizations, industry trade bodies, and the regulators on the whole. That would help the banks and help each other, basically, to move forward. So a very interesting point here is the GPII, the Global Payments Innovation Initiative. So at this Sibos, the SWIFT and the banks will be announcing the progress and the pilot and how that's going to help the consumers and the banks. And I think that there should be a lot more of the collaboration going on to help everybody move forward faster. Because
one of the buzzwords this year is also RegTech. We talk about regulation and technology. I mean, Chris, your take on that?
I think there's a lot of interesting potential there. I think there tends to be an automatic assumption that regulators are, nervous about and don't like banks doing things in new ways. And I think that's increasingly kind of something that is to be questioned. I know that in that the session on RegTech, there's a senior exec from the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. They've been very, very kind of upfront. They've held various kind of consultations, lots of different initiatives to have a look at how technology can make the regulatory burden, and the kind of question of kind of monitoring banking activities less onerous for both the regulators and the regulators.
Tanya, I just want to get your take on that, because how much of it are regulators finding it hard to adapt and evolve and keep up, or who's going first? Who's pushing more and who's saying kind of, okay, hang on?
Well, I mean, if you think that traditional big banks are slow to change, the regulators are even slower than that. However, hopefully, and I think Chris would agree with me, that this is changing. And I would say it's probably a forced change, because regulators can see how quickly things are moving. And they see that the big banks are changing. They see how much the markets and the environment and the infrastructures have changed. So they need to keep up with the times. And a very good example is the UK regulator, the Singapore regulator, are really making good strides in sort of catching up, at least, or trying to preempt what's going to happen next and how to regulate that.
So much to discuss that. And Chris, what are you looking forward to? What sessions?
Well, I think there's quite a few sessions that they're kind of taking the lead from the kind of TED Talk kind of presentations, just half an hour expert on a particular subject, just their straightforward opinion. And I think some of those have been kind of very well chosen. There's a guy called Bruce Schneier, who's quite a world renowned authority on cybersecurity issues. He's CTO of a firm called Resilient, which was an IBM firm, but he's in his own right a kind of he speaks at info security conferences. I think he talks on kind of issues relating to the role of governments as well. So that's
well, we're just going to jump in and get Tanya's take very quickly in 20 seconds. Tell us your pick.
Well, in a tribe and what's happening in the innovation space. That's me.
Okay. So, and I know on Sibos Issues, as well as the app, you've got plenty of guidance, haven't you, as well, you can see and do. So I know indeed that if you know what you want to go, you can have a look in Sibos Issues, check where it is. There's a whole program.
Can we test him? What's on page 5? Kidding.
So thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you, guys.
To Chris and Tanya. Well, that's really all from our first breakfast with Sibos, isn't it?
You're heading off somewhere, right?
I am indeed. I'm downstairs next to the registration area where I'll be reporting live, talking to delegates in Talking Sibos, and that's going to be at 10 o'clock. So please come and chat with me.
That's right. Looking forward to joining you then. Of course, you want to keep watching us right here on Sibos TV. If you look around the exhibition floor, we're up and above. We see some bright lights. Come and wave and say hello, because we will be here all throughout the week covering all that is happening at the conference, and we would love to hear from you.
Yes, indeed. So next up on Sibos TV is the first session of the day, and it's Cyber's Resilience in a Changing World. So don't miss that. Enjoy. See you soon.